The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch UK Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. You're listening to Paranormal Concept right here on Parasearch UK Radio with your host, Paul Rook.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Paranormal Concept Show. I'm the host, Paul Rook, and it is now 21:01 on the 8th of August 2017. Look, I got the date right this week. I'm joined in the studio tonight by two very special people. First of all, I'm going to introduce my co-host, Kerry Greenaway. Hello, Kerry.
Hello, Paul, and how are you?
I'm good. I'm actually impressed that I got the date right this week.
Only because I've just prompted you.
Yeah, that's true. Spoil the illusion, why don't you? God,
I will, don't worry, I'll take you down, mate.
Promises. And I'm also joined in the studio by Vernon. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Paul. Hello, Kerry.
Hello.
How have you been?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, good. Right, so last time we spoke to you, you was found out of Gospel Paranormal Club, I believe.
He was.
Yeah. So what have you been doing since? That's really what we want to know.
Basically just been attending ghost hunts, really. Still trying to learn my craft, so don't pretend that I know anything or everything.
Yeah.
Trying to see how other people work, see what type of equipment they're using, get some ideas of what direction I want to go, whether it's more spiritual, whether it's more scientific. I think for me, I've gone down the scientific route. I think the biggest thing we've done in the group is we actually changed the name of the group. We've changed it to Southern Counties Paranormal. Main reason being we thought that Gospel Paranormal Club was too restrictive. It was too localized, and as Gospel, as nicer area as it is just a small part of Hampshire. Whereas opening it up to Southern counties, we're not even restricted to Hampshire. We've got Sussex, and we've got all the other southern counties that we can investigate in. So and good members from as well.
So, what was your first paranormal investigation with the group?
As a group of us of southern counties. We've actually only done one. We've done two, I apologise. Knoll Cemetery, which is in Fareham, which I've been there many times on my own and with other groups, always get very, very good evidence and photos over there. And we've also done the grounds of Porchester Castle, which again is just outside Fareham, between Fareham and Portsmouth. That's a medieval castle. I think it's the oldest medieval castle in Europe, if not the world, that's still standing. And again, there's usually always evidence there. There's monks that would get photographed. There's orbs that get a load of hits on K2 and stuff like that. It is a really good place to investigate.
Yeah. Have you got a ghost box yet?
I don't
SP7.
actually have like an SP7 or anything. I've got I'm gone really for the scientific side, so I'm trying to, through my own cost, unfortunately, trying out all these apps that say that they work. So I'm actually trying to go tech-wise rather than actually get a SB7 or something like that. And I found one that seems to work. So it's just a case now of trying it a few more times and just see whether it's, it is hitting the mark or whether it is just, a part of...
Yeah. In my experience, I would say avoid the phone apps.
Yeah, no, I mean, this one does have a good reputation and does have a very good... People that do use it do seem to put very good, comments and remarks about them. But as a rule, yes, you're right. A lot of them that I've tried aren't worth the memory space on the equipment.
Well, that's it. I mean, we had a guy on a few weeks ago. He developed a phone app, and me and Kerry actually went out into the field and tried it. And well, Kerry, I don't think we was too impressed. But Kerry might have been.
No, I wasn't. But I'm not saying it's bad. I would say I'd like to do more with it, try more with it. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying my jury is out on it, really. I'm not making a comment either way, whether or not it was great or bad. I just would like to trial it a little bit more. There was one aspect of it that I couldn't see the point of. But as I say, the jury is out. So I'm not sitting here saying one way or the other at the moment. I'm still sat on the fence, firmly on the fence on that one.
Well, there you go. Be careful of those splinters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because obviously, I just don't like phone apps, to be fair, and that's my opinion. I would rather go out and buy the piece of equipment that is designed to do that specific role, rather than a phone that gets the program and downloads it, and because you don't know what is going into that app. So,
no, absolutely, but obviously, I think for me, as somebody who's still trying to build a group, obviously, a lot of the revenue you get for any investigations you do is ploughed straight back in to try and buy equipment.
Yeah.
But as you and some of the listeners who do their own investigations, the equipment can be pricey, shall we say? And
it can. And because obviously you are just starting out, it is trial and error. This is how you're going to learn. You can listen to people like myself, Kerry, and maybe some of the other presenters of Parasearch. We all have different opinions on different tech, but you'll only know for yourself when you try them. So although in my opinion, avoid them. But if you want to go for it and try them, then that's not a problem either, because that isn't, at the end of the day, that's how you're going to learn. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's sort of tech for me. I mean, as I said to you earlier before the show started, I've just spent lots of money on some new tech, but my tech is more to do with the environment as opposed to actually communicating with ghosts and stuff like that. So I'm quite looking forward to having that arrive, and I'll tell you, the batteries are going to go in it and it's going to be used straight away. Okay, so do you, with Southern Counties Paranormal, do you go out and do like paranormal events as such?
Moving forward, that's certainly going to be the idea. I mean, we've held one pay-for event at the moment, but we didn't get much of an uptake on that, unfortunately. So, yeah, what I'm doing at the moment, as I said, is there's a group quite close to me that I'm enjoying working with at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm going to a lot of their investigations. The people that run it are become friends of mine, and they're very good. The whole team that they've built around themselves are very good. Yeah. So they've all got their own unique ideas of how they investigate, what they want to use. And it's, for me, not working with, but being around them, I'm actually learning quite a lot as well. Because I don't think, however experienced you are at investigating, you should always be learning, because there's always different ways to ask a question. There's 5 ways to ask the same question. You might get a response on only one of those ways that you're asked that question.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You do sort of learn as you go on. I mean, even Kerry, when she joined Trident, she come on board and she does crystal grids, and she plays with her crystals and stuff. And as funny as that sounds, but we have got some really good results through that, so there is something in it. But that's something that we've learned as we've gone on, And it is literally just listening to new ideas, and don't shut them down completely. Just go with it and try it out. That is the best way to go, I think.
Oh, absolutely, and get a wider variety of experiences that you can with different people. Because even when we're going on investigations with whichever group, you get people that have never been to an investigation before, who have always had an interest in the paranormal, but have never, either whether it's because they've never had the bottle to go on an investigation, or whether it's just because they've not known where to turn. But some of those people come out with really good ideas because they're looking at it from a unblinkered.
Yeah.
I think when you're in the paranormal community for any length of time, you can get a little bit stale in what you're doing and stuck in your own ways. And I think to get a fresh concept and a fresh view, allows you to maybe think outside the box because of what they're saying and what they're experiencing.
Yeah, absolutely. Having new ideas and fresh eyes is always good, I feel. And just by doing the radio shows, we get all these guests on, and it opens your eyes so much. And there's so many new ideas that come forward because of that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fabulous. Have you contacted anyone from like any of these scientific communities? Like, I know the Ghost Club, that they run courses, I think. The ISSIP as well is another one.
Yeah, at the moment, no, I haven't. I think the problem I have is my day job, basically. As much as I would love to be doing, the paranormal 24/7, it wouldn't pay the bills. And unfortunately, my day job involves shift work.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to try and arrange something like that on top of my day job and attending investigations.
Yeah, I mean, with the ISSIP in particular, because I know I'm already a member with them. They've got like their set membership fee, and for that they send you magazines every now and again. They will put on seminars if you can get to them, and they offer training courses in paranormal investigation. Although again, they're not, anything official or governing body or anything. They are very highly sought after because they do teach you how to look at things scientifically and using what equipment, and they can help you progress. So if you do the courses and you become affiliated with the ISSIP, they can send you jobs that come into them, and then you go out and do the investigation their style, and then they know that there's the certain quality of investigation that you've done.
Yeah.
So I joined them pretty much straight away, and they send me magazines once every so often, and journals and stuff like that from other paranormal investigators in the field, and that's another way of learning You know,
Yeah,
you still get all their opinions and stuff. So
yeah.
I
To be
just
fair, it's not
go
something
there.
I'd really thought about, so it's certainly something I may look into.
Yeah, I mean it's not extortionate price either. I think when I joined, it was about £15 a month. No, sorry, £15 a year.
A year. It's gone up to 20 now.
Oh, has it? Oh, there you go.
It's just gone up to
I knew that it's
20.
just gone up, but I couldn't remember how much. Oh, well, there you go.
But that's for a
£20.
year. That's not a lot, is it?
It isn't.
No.
And
I don't think even the SPR is really expensive either.
I don't know because I'm not a member of those, but yeah, I would suggest that if you're going to go down a scientific route, you know, the ISSIP, Ghost Club, and people like that, you know, they're the ones you want to get sort of in with because they are the scientific community, as it were.
It's not just that, but they have the resources as well. So if you've got, they've got all the files and books galore and stuff like that, which you have access to.
Yeah,
so
and
that's really interesting.
They even help you with the equipment as well. The ASAP will actually lend you equipment. I'm assuming you've got to be affiliated before they would do that.
The SPR is £60. Sorry, thank you, Richard, in the chat room.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, even that for a year isn't too bad. It's definitely something worth looking into. Yeah. So what have you got any like future plans for your Southern County group?
Yeah, I think it's just at the moment it's just trying to get the name out there, trying to you know, make people aware we're here. Yeah. We've potentially got a local newspaper down here in Gosport are interested in doing a featurette on us, which would be nice if that can come off.
Yeah.
You know, so I think one of the members of the staff there, unbeknown, are actually a member of the group. So things like that, really. It's just about trying to build what we've got. I mean, it started really slowly. It's starting to pick up a little bit now, but it's just to try not to lose any momentum. Yeah, and just try. But it's for me, you know, it's about trying to get the equipment as a base, because it's nothing. If you're going out on your own or with a couple of mates, you know, you can go with a recorder, you can go with a K2. But the minute you start asking people to pay, they expect you to be able to give them something to use. Yes. The worst thing, you know, is to ask someone to pay and walk around a woods or a forest and nothing happens. And, you know, you're ripping us off, mate. Well, sorry, there's no guarantee. You know, it's not an exact science. Yeah. You know, it's hit and miss, unfortunately, but you know, sometimes when you particularly if you're charging as much as some groups do, and you're new to it's your first investigation, and really it is really quiet, which I'm sure we've all had that experience where you've gone on an investigation and it, you know, you might as well have sat in a pub all night. You probably have spent the same amount of money and had more fun.
Absolutely, and yeah, I must admit, I was probably sat in a few pubs all night as well. Yeah, I think we've all done that.
Yeah.
My first ever investigation that I did, it was a public investigation, so I was like totally green around the gills, had no idea about anything. And you knew it was bad when they started getting photographs out of past investigations. Oh. And you're like, obviously it was a very bad night.
And I can't say I've ever done that.
No, I've not had to do that yet, thankfully.
No, bless them. They were clutching at the straws by the end of the evening. And I ended up having a row with one of the guys because he was convinced that the shadow on the wall was actually a spirit shadow. And I was like, no, it's mine. Look, I'm moving. It's moving. Yeah. So even at that point, I was quite bolshy.
No, she just runs around. Oh dear. Okay. So where has you been your best place for activity?
Best place of the places I've investigated is Knoll Cemetery in Fareham.
Okay.
The photographic evidence we've caught any time we go there is always surprises me. We've caught I personally have got a photograph of what looks like, I'm not going to say it is because it's open to interpretation, but what looks like a small child over a grave, and the grave itself is of a small child. And you know, you can look at it, you can invert it, you can do whatever. To me, it's quite clear it's a small child. There's also a big tree called a hanging tree, and I've got a photo of what looks like somebody hanging from the tree.
Is there any history regarding people being hung from that tree?
There's apparently history of people hanging themselves from the tree. Yes,
Okay.
because it's the cemetery itself was attached to what used to be a mental asylum. So unfortunately, there are stories of people killing themselves, and this tree is, as I say, quite a big tree, and there are stories that people have hung from it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's true, but that's certainly some of the stories. But orbs, you get orbs by, you know, and they are orbs. They're not dust. They're not, you know, it's open ground. They're not flies. They're not midges or anything. They're orbs, because you can take one photo that's completely clear, and you can take a second photo literally straight after, and it will be full, and then you can take a third photo, and again it's clear. And it's stuff like that. It's every time we go there, we get stuff like that, and it's just such a nice place to visit as well. So, if you can say that about a cemetery,
Yeah. See, I don't tend to go to cemeteries just because my opinion of cemeteries is basically people were put there to rest. So I don't feel it's my place to then go and do an investigation in a graveyard, because I want them to rest in peace. So I won't do that. But yeah, I mean there are other investigators that will. So that's not. Again, it's personal choice at the end of the day. But in my opinion, I think, well, these people are laid to rest. They want to be left alone. But again, on the other hand, if I was a ghost, why would I want to be haunting a graveyard?
yeah, no, absolutely. But I think, if it is a case of these people have had issues in their lives, maybe they don't know any different. But yeah, you're quite right. If you're gonna start investigating a graveyard, it's about being totally respectful. It's not about standing and stuff. Yeah, not just doing any chanting or anything. It's about just a peaceful walk around, taking photos.
Yeah.
You could try. We've tried like a human pendulum before and things like that, but he's certainly not trying to channel too much, and you're certainly not trying to invoke anything, because no, that is disrespectful, and as you know, the good people in the field aren't about disrespecting anybody. Yeah. It's about total respect of the lives they've led.
Yeah. Totally like random question now, right? If you was a spirit, when it's your time to pass, what is it that you would like to do in the afterlife? Would you be one of these people that want to obviously just rest in peace, or would you sort of go out and have a bit of fun? And
that's a good question, actually. I never thought of that. I'd like to create hell. No, no, I can think of a few people I'd like to haunt. No, I don't know. I mean, it's difficult because as a paranormal investigator, the idea is not necessarily believing that there's something afterlife.
Yeah.
It's trying to see whether there is anything after life. Because at the end of the day, we live for 60, 70, 80, 90, however many years. But in the grand scheme of things, that's like seconds.
Yeah.
And I would like to think that isn't it. I think for me,
Yeah.
I would like to think that there is more. So if I had the choice, would I want a quiet death or not? I've got to be honest, probably not. I'd like to know that I can have the conscience to come back and maybe terrorise a few people that have terrorised me and when I was younger.
Yeah, I see. I mean, I would love to go after people like the TV shows, and I would literally unleash hell. When they ask if anyone's there, I'm grabbing their ankles and dragging them up the wall, along the ceiling, and spinning them around. They're going to be so terrified.
Yeah.
Just to do normal paranormal investigate is a good turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're going to want to stop.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. They're going to want to leave the paranormal field when I've finished with them.
Oh, you imagine Derek Acora in the Big Brother house. Oh, blimey, yeah.
Yeah, actually, he's already said that the Big Brother house is haunted.
Yeah, I know.
By the Jade Goody, and there's another one as well.
Yeah.
David Guest.
That's it. But I will say, in his defence, I'm not saying that it's not them. Right? I'm just saying that apparently I've already seen reports that the Big Brother house has paranormal activity in it.
I've not heard that or seen that, so I can't possibly comment.
No, you can go and do like a Google search.
Yeah.
And it's quite difficult to find because you have to sift through loads of information, but it is there, and there are reports that people have reported strange things going on in the house. But I think it's more attributed to the land that it's built on as opposed to the actual house.
Yeah, that would make sense, and particularly being next to I don't know whether the new house is near water actually, because I know the old one was near Camden Lock, but I don't know whether the new house is.
The Big Brother house is in Elstree
right?
Movie Studios.
Yeah.
And they filmed Star Wars and all that sort of stuff there as well. Yeah. So you've got some big names that have been there that have passed. So it could be anybody, to be fair.
Yeah.
But just because it's all Big Brother and stuff, Derek Acora's just latched onto those names, probably.
Quite possibly, yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know. Okay, so Kerry, right?
Yeah.
What about same question to you, right? If you when it's your time to pass, what are you going to do with your afterlife?
I've already made a pact with my best friend. We did this years ago, and we were going to do the same. We were going to come out with a rat in chains and, the groans and all that sort of stuff for the paranormal investigators. That we'd already made that decision. We already said that if there is an afterlife, we will let each other know, and that's how we would do it. Just scare the bejesus out of each other, whoever goes first.
Yeah. What didn't some famous paranormal investigator say that before, that if there is an afterlife they would come back and let us know?
Yeah, Harry Houdini actually spoke to his mother about this.
That's it.
And they had a code word, and after his mother passed, Harry Houdini visited multiple mediums and the word never ever came up. So that doesn't prove one way or the other. It just means that his mother didn't come through. But they all said that we've got your mother here and blah, blah, blah. But they never said the word.
Hocus pocus, that's what it was.
Was that the word? I don't know what the word was. But there was a word that was said between them privately that if she was able to come through, that's the word she would use to verify and confirm her existence after death. So, but it never happened for him. So, it's interesting that happened for somebody who was so into it.
See, I can imagine both of them now in spirit having a pop at each other It's like
you can imagine.
Yeah. It's like you didn't come back and tell me, and she's like, yeah, I did. I just weren't on the same vibe. So I did.
Or the medium just was not getting the hocus pocus reference.
Yeah.
See, now you would, if from what I understand, sometimes it's images that the medium gets from talking to mediums recently, rather than actual somebody saying, tell them this. Do you know what I mean? It comes in different ways. So if now you just show the image of the film and they'll go, they're showing me the film Hocus Pocus. What's that all about? And then that would be so relevant. You go, oh, there you go. There it is. Again, do you know what I mean?
It depends on what the word was. I mean, I don't know. For all I know, it could have been like gobbledygook. That's a good word.
Yeah, how does that translate, though, to a medium who's trying to...
Exactly.
It's like a bad signal. How can you... It's not like me sitting there directly talking to you. It's like you're tuning in to like a bad signal. It's very difficult to explain. So if you get a word like gobbledygook, how up in spirit, it's a bit like charades, you know, like in your head, it is so simple and you're desperately trying to act it out. And the 3 people or however many people in front of you are coming out with some random crap that you're going, no, that's not what I'm acting out. Do you know what I mean? We've all done that at Christmas, you know, with our Christmas hats on. You know, we've all done that. And that must be that's how I imagine it must be like sometimes for spirit trying to get their message across. Yeah. It's like a game of charades and the medium is just not getting the message that the spirit is sometimes trying to give. That's how I see it. So, but that's my personal opinion.
Yeah. You say that though, Kerry. I mean, I've had one experience. Now, my other half, she doesn't believe in it, but I don't know if she believes in the paranormal, but she's almost as interested in it as I am. And of all the years we've been together, we've actually only ever been on one investigation together. Now, her dad, before he died, he kind of made a pact and said, you know, I'll come back and let you know that I'm all okay. And they said, okay, but what word do you want? You know, how are we going to know it's you? And he said, I know, a totally random word. I'll use the word popcorn. So if you're ever doing anything spiritual and popcorn comes up, you'll know it's me. And one time we were... it was at Bletchley Castle, actually, and we were doing a spirit box session, and the leader of the team that were doing it at that time said, "Is there a spirit here? Is there any messages?" And you quite clearly hear, and it was really clear, a voice come over and say, "Yes." Rachel and Steve, Rachel being my partner, and the medium said, well, what's the message? And as clear as I'm standing, as clear as you can hear me now, we heard popcorn. Now, why a spirit box would come out with our names and that, I don't know. I can't, you know, we've thought about it. We can't think of a rational explanation, but it's just something for us. It was, okay, wow.
Yeah, I can imagine. And there are times like that where you do get that. I'm not saying that it's always like that. I'm just, you know, I suppose it depends on how strong you are or how strong the spirit is or the energy at the time. Or I think there's many, many factors that strengthen that signal.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Or that energy signature. Mm-hmm. I would. That's how I would sort of see it, really. But, you know, great. I mean, God, I bet that blew you away.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah, as I say, but it's just this. It's also just as I say, the only single time that we've actually been on an investigation together, and that's the, you know, nothing's come through for her ever since in that respect, and certainly, you know, I mean, I never met her dad, so, but you know, it was quite clear it was a message for Rachel and Steve, and the message was popcorn, and you know, I'm sure I recorded it, and I'm sure I've got the recording somewhere. But yeah, it was like, okay, maybe there's more to this than.
Yeah.
It's those moments though that you live for, though, isn't it? In all honesty, it's those kind of moments that you live for in the paranormal, or you know, when you go for readings or something like that. That definite verification.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we all want to catch a full body apparition, or we all want to, a Class A EVP, but we don't all get that.
No.
No, that's
You
it. And
know.
I think even if we did, you'd put it out there, and people just rip it to shreds anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, I've caught some strange things on screen and stuff that I can't explain, but I just won't release it because I know that it just get ripped to shreds.
Yeah,
I mean, if I ever want anyone to have a look at it, I'm going to be going to people like the ISSIP, and people like that, and get them to look at it because I know that they will do a proper good job.
yeah.
And at least I know that there's some quality in what they're come back with. Yeah. But
Yeah, it's about putting it up to your. We've talked about this before about putting it up to your peers, rather than social media.
yeah.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? So many people put stuff on social media and it's shabby, or fake. And but if you really think you've caught something, you put it out to the peers of the paranormal. They're the serious ones. They're the ones that know what they're talking about. They know what they're looking at. They know their stuff. And like you say, it's either the ASSAP or the SPR, or even I mean, we're very, very blessed being part of a radio because we have plenty of contacts that we can send stuff to and say, well, what do you think? Before going to the big governing bodies, not governing bodies, but the big
The big
bodies.
guns.
The big guns. Yeah. And then if they go, oh, that's really interesting. I don't know how, I don't know quite what that is. Then you go, okay, then I'll take it to the SPR. You know what I mean? Or somewhere like that. But there are people out there that are looking at things in a very scientific way, and they are very happy to have a look at footage. And we I say we're very blessed. We get to talk to so many people in the paranormal field, and we know a lot of them, and they've become friends and stuff like that. So we are very blessed on Parasearch, but they're open to anybody with serious footage, not just this social media footage. I would just like to add, because they'll hate me if they get inundated by orb photos. No disrespect.
Yeah, I can imagine it. I mean, as I was saying to you earlier, there was a lady that posted up a picture of an orb, and she said, "Can you see anything in this orb picture?" And I actually replied underneath dust. There was nothing in it whatsoever, and everyone else is going, "Oh, yeah, humour in her," and "Oh, yeah, there's faces in it," and no, there isn't. But yeah, I mean, there's no harm in always getting a second opinion because, if I can't explain it, maybe you can, and then if you put an explanation to it, I can then say, well, okay, I can see that, and then if something happens again similar, I've got that experience then and saying, well, actually, no, it's this. It was explained to me before. So this, as you said, we're always learning. We're always, always learning, and I think that's why I love the paranormal so much. I know what I know, and I'm still learning.
Yeah, I think that's it. I know what I know, but I know I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And I don't think, however, whether you are at my level at the moment or whether you're at, I don't know, bad example, but Colby's levels, someone who's been doing it a lot longer and has a show behind them. It doesn't matter, but you should, you never ever are going to know it all, ever. So, and I think
I don't know. I think Colby does think he actually is the one.
I think he does.
I've actually
bless him.
No. I've actually had crosswords with him before now, and he became quite aggressive, and I was like, do you know what? It was really uncalled for. So again, this is a sort of my own opinion, and I just avoid him because I just don't want that to spill over, if that makes sense. I don't want him to come at me for any reason, and I just sort of avoid it because it's just better to keep the peace, You know, I don't want to fall out with anybody at the end of the day, and you know, we just clash. That it could be personality wise. Do you know what I mean? And we just clash. I'm not saying he's bad at what he does, you know, and all the TV shows have got their place, you know.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm not knocking them for it at all. But it's just I think maybe our personalities clash a little bit more, and I avoid him for that reason. But I mean, there's a lot of people out there that says he's like a really nice bloke, but I don't know.
I've met him once, and you know, when they've met, and yeah, they were very nice. But you know that, yeah, as you say, that's meeting them once, and it's, you know, I could meet someone in the street once and be very nice to them. Doesn't mean to say I like them.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah.
And then you can meet someone once and just take an instant dislike to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all about vibes, isn't it? I think
It is.
Yeah, vibes and auras, but that's a different subject.
That's not my kind of style.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kerry, why don't I like him then?
Okay, the reason you don't like him.
No,
Do you really want to know?
No, don't go there. No, it's fine.
Okay, we won't go there then.
Yeah. No, we'll leave that one out, I think.
Okay, I think I'm going to upset the community enough this week without adding to that.
Yeah. On that note, I'm just going to take a quick break, and we'll be back very shortly after this.
Hello, Harry Price here. Good evening. If there's nothing myself and everybody else enjoy here on the other side more is the sit back and relax and listen to Parasearch Radio with its paranormal news, views and reviews from across the UK and beyond. Make sure to find out more about them on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web, whatever they are, to keep up to date with all their broadcasts throughout the week. And I hope you enjoy them as much as we do over here. Hello? Is anybody there?
And thank you for that, Harry Price. You know, now he's just told us that there is an afterlife because he does have adverts for us. How cool's that?
It's very cool.
It is, isn't it? It's awesome. What can I say? Anyway, welcome back after that very, 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 very short break. We were talking to Steve Vernon about his new paranormal group, the I've forgotten what it is already.
Southern Counties Paranormal.
That's the one. I knew what it was really. I was just testing you.
I know, you do like to, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, have you got anything coming up now? Have you got any events you shortly?
For Southern Counties, no. I've got a few investigations coming up with another group that, as I say, I was speaking about earlier. We've got one in Southampton coming up, which they're keeping secret for some reason. We've got one at a smallpox isolation hospital in Gospel. We've got one at the Rifles Museum coming up. And one on the Isle of Wight, which I'm looking forward to, actually.
Awesome. The Rifles Museum I've actually been to and investigated it myself, and that place is amazing. So if there is anyone out there that wants to go, I'd suggest go, because it is absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been there before?
I've not, no. No, absolutely not, and I don't know that anyone on the team have either. I'm not too sure about that, but I know it's certainly an investigation we're all looking forward to.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, it's a big house, but I would suggest as well go and investigate the gardens.
Okay,
I'll leave it at that, but yeah.
Yeah,
do that too. I'll be interested to know what you find out. Maybe we can have you back on the show once you've done it. Actually, we can compare notes on the Rifles Museum.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to obviously, because it's not myself, that it's not my group. So anything we catch or anything I catch, obviously, I don't know whether I can mention the group that are running it, but
Well, I don't mind. I don't mind you mentioning the group that runs it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the group that I work with, other than Southern Counties, is a group called Keep It Real Paranormal Events. They're based in Hampshire as well, and it's run by Bob and Sally Hunt, and they're both really, really nice people. And as I say, the investigations they hold are really good.
Yeah.
And it's and if they're happy for me to, and I'll speak to them obviously, if they're happy for me to share any evidence that is caught, then I'll be more than happy to come back on and discuss it.
Well, what I'll do also, I'll speak to Bob because I actually know Bob.
Okay.
So I'll message him and just say if he wants to, he can come on the show with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can both come on and we can all talk about the Rifles Museum.
Yeah,
that'd be quite good. Yeah, I'm impressed. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
Where are you going on the Isle of Wight?
I, for the life of me, can't remember the name of the house. I knew that obviously Paul was going to ask me about where we've been investigating and stuff, and that was the one address that I can't find. I've got all the posters for everything else. I cannot find that one. It's a big house, I know that, but I can't remember what it's called, unfortunately. It's not Osborne House, which I would love to have gone, and it's not. And it's not the monks' monastery just outside Ryde. I think it's in East Cowes, so I'm not too sure, but whether anyone who is listening knows any haunted locations, big houses in East Cowes. But yeah,
well, I've been there recently, and I'm trying to think, but there's loads of places on the Isle of Wight, and it's a really haunted island. So.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd love to investigate
fantastic.
Osborne House. To be fair, that would be quite.
You never
awesome.
get in there.
No, I know, but it would
never
be quite
going to
awesome.
get in there.
No,
well, I don't know. When I win the lottery and turn up with 35 million, your money talks.
Well, now if we were talking about winning the lottery.
Yeah. So money talks, and
that's true.
I actually had this conversation with someone the other day. They said to me, if you won 10 grand, what would you do? And I turned around and said that there is actually a location that we, as Trident, approached, and they asked for £6,000 to hire.
Oh, where was that?
It was. I'm keeping it a secret because I don't want other people going for it. But I would hire that place with the 6 grand and then sell tickets at like £300 each.
Would you sell tickets at £300 each without?
To be fair, I've just paid 6 grand out of my own pocket for my team to go for free. So if I can recoup some of that money back, I'm going to do it. But
true.
To be honest, if no one wants to go, and I can't see that happening. Because of where it is, I think I'd do that. I'd just hire it for my team just to go on a private investigation, and if anyone wants to pay that much money that want to come, then they're welcome to come along too. I'd still be out of pocket either way, but yeah, it would be sort of amazing. It's almost like Buckingham Palace. Yeah, it's not Buckingham Palace, but it's not too much different.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah,
I'm now going through places in my head that it could possibly be. Yeah, I'm literally in my head. I'm going, could it be? Could it be? Could
Although
it be?
I have actually just booked Warwick Castle for
that's
2018. Yeah,
I'm there on that investigation. I tell you now.
Yeah,
it's Northwood House on the island that I'm going to.
Where? Sorry.
Northwood House.
Oh, okay.
So I know nothing about it at all.
I'll have to look at that.
No, I don't know. To be fair, I don't know that one.
No.
It's not Blenheim Palace either, Richard.
I see. In my head, I'm thinking more. Oh God, carry on. It will come to me. It's just I can see it in my head. Carry on.
I've got one location that I've always wanted to go to, and I think I might just visit just as because it's a museum as well now. I just go for the day trip. Is Bletchley Park.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Because of the history of that place, and this is where they had like the army intelligence, and that's where they cracked the code, the Enigma. Enigma machine and stuff. That
Hampton Court. Sorry, just popped in my head.
Hampton Court. No, it's not Hampton Court.
It's not Hampton Court either.
Again, it's not too much different from that, to be fair. It's
all right. It's all right, Steve. After the show, I'll butter him up and he'll chill. Not literally, you understand.
You know what? Nice scientific question for you. Right? Again, totally random because you talked about buttered. Right? When you drop a bit of bread and it always falls butter side down.
Yeah.
And if you hypothetically throw a cat out the window, it always lands on its feet. If you strapped the bread and butter to the back, butter side up, and then threw the cat out the window, what way would it land?
Hang on, I go and get the cat. No.
Let's try this experiment. We actually had one guy, a serious guy, say it would actually cause a rift in physics. It would just ski mid-air because it wouldn't know what to do with itself.
Yeah, it causes a paradox. It's fine. Oh dear. Yeah, it's just silly random things like that.
Brain on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's it.
So on your bucket list, Steve, on your bucket list of investigation or places you can investigate, where would you investigate if you could investigate literally anywhere?
If I can investigate anywhere?
Yeah.
I would love, it's got to be a really dark place to go anyway for many other reasons. I would love to go to Hiroshima just because of the history of the place. And obviously, if the afterlife is there because of people who haven't moved over because of the trauma they've experienced, there's going to be nowhere else on this planet that's going to have the level of trauma that those poor souls experienced. So as dark as it is, I think for me, Hiroshima.
You know what? I would like to go there also. Just to visit, not just necessarily for a paranormal investigation.
Mm.
The whole place would be quite eerie.
Yeah.
I mean, my favourite all-time place is I think it's Pavgolia Island in Italy.
The Doll Island is that?
No, Pavgolia or something it's called.
In Italy. Sorry, I was in Mexico. My brain was in Mexico at that point.
No, it used to be like a leper colony, and then after that, it was a mental institution on there.
Yeah.
And people have been killed and murdered on there and stuff. And it's so haunted that the Italian government refused to let anybody on there. And then old Zach Baggins come along, done his investigation of there, and apparently it's privately owned now. And they want to build condos on it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No.
But I would love to go there just to experience the atmos. But also going back to the Hiroshima, there is a paranormal team that's going over there.
Really?
I can't remember how much the tickets were, but they were talking about. I'm sure they were like going to Kiev first and then spending 24 hours in Hiroshima. Now,
are you sure you're not thinking of Chernobyl?
Oh, is it Chernobyl? Oh, it might be Chernobyl.
Chernobyl's the one where there was the nuclear meltdown, and
or Ukraine.
Hiroshima is where the bomb was dropped.
Yeah, okay, Chernobyl, that's it.
Yeah, you're getting your areas muddled. Hiroshima is where in World War II they tried out the atomic bomb.
They dropped the bomb,
Okay.
They dropped the bomb from the Enola Gay. and that
It's been a long
obviously
day.
caused absolute devastation. Whereas Chernobyl, yes, but I have heard conflicting reports on Chernobyl in regards to the radiation is still so high that you have to sign a waiver form before you go because you're still prone to radiation sickness if you stay too long.
Yeah.
So although it would be fascinating and interesting, I don't think I'd want to take that risk with my health.
No, exactly.
You know.
And this paranormal team's going out there. I tell you what, it might actually be quite a good idea to get them on a show and talking about it.
It might be, yeah. Well, you know,
we could do that.
Yeah. Put that on my list.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the list to do.
I think if there's one place that's more obtainable and probably in this country, I think for me it would have to be London Tower, the Tower.
Oh God, yeah. I'm with you on that one, Steve. I'll be honest with you, that's one place that's definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah.
Having said that, we have tried to get into the Tower of London, and you can hire it out for like social events. You hire out the main hall for social events, but they won't let you investigate.
Yeah, that would be fantastic, but I just don't know that it would be. I think it's probably a place that would allow you to, as you say, to have private functions. But the minute you mention, "Can I come and investigate?" You'll probably get looked at a bit oddly.
I've actually emailed them and spoke to them and stuff about doing a paranormal event now, and they obviously turn you down because on the grounds that people actually live on the site.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
of course.
it's residential, so they won't do it for that reason, which, you know, I can understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Having said that, I have approached the war rooms.
Yep.
Churchill war rooms. And they were interested.
Yeah.
They were interested, but it was very expensive, which is why it wasn't a goer. But that would be quite interesting as well, because you can imagine the tension that would have been in those rooms at the time. And it's all set up like it would have been. So for a Singapore theory experiment, it would be perfect. You know, if you're all dressed up as well in that kind of, you know, if you all got dressed up and you was in that environment. And for a Singapore theory, that would be awesome kind of experiment. But as I say, it was quite expensive to hire. So
I wonder what sort of activity you would get if not when you dressed up and you wasn't just dressed up as Churchill and like the British soldiers. If you turned up in a German uniform.
Oh, yeah, it's that sort of thing you could do, isn't it? To try and provoke activity. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe they'd throw you out. Literally, the spirits would just throw you out.
Maybe that if there's anything there.
Yeah, that would be quite interesting.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's so many sites, though, isn't there? I have to say, in the UK, we're absolutely blessed with locations to investigate because of the history that we have in the UK.
Yeah.
We are absolutely blessed. And Europe, actually. Europe's quite good for history too. But the UK, we are incredibly blessed.
We are, indeed.
We are, very much, yes.
Yeah. So what about going... Would you be interested in going to, like, Draculas Castle and places like that?
I think you've got to be a fool if you say you're not, because, again, just with the history of the building itself, regardless of the mythology of the character, but the building itself and its location, absolutely, anything that's like that, definitely.
Have you ever looked at going over to any locations abroad?
No. Unfortunately, finances are such that wouldn't, far short of winning the lottery, that probably wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I never thought that I'd get to the stage where I could actually do that, but I just sorted out my passport, and I'm looking at locations at the moment to go and look at, just for day trips and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. Then absolutely. Some of the French chateaus and some of the Spanish particularly maybe some of the Spanish old war sites and stuff. That they would be interesting to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'd even like to go over to the Dunkirk and all that, just to be in the atmosphere.
Yeah,
that would be quite, I suppose, moving and
It'd be very interesting to see how commercialised that's got now. If the front's got, if it's now a seafront or whether it has been left to honour those.
Yeah, it'd be interesting anyway. But yeah, but sadly we have come to the end of the show. We're gone over now, actually.
Naughty boy! I have to report you to the management.
Yeah, terrible. Never mind. I want to thank you, Steve, for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you, and we shall definitely speak to you again.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
And we'll sort out that Rifles Museum thing as well. That'd be quite good. I'll to Bob, and if you have a word as well, blinded.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, Kerry, for joining me again tonight. Absolute pleasure as always.
Always welcome.
Awesome. I'm actually going to be joining you on one of your shows on Sunday, aren't I? 27th, I think, something like that, on it?
Yeah, on the 27th of this month, we have Lee Steer, who bought the haunted doll. You know, the one that's all over social media, all in the newspapers at the moment, the Bride doll. He's working with somebody we've also interviewed, Neil Packer, to work with this doll. And we've actually got him on for an interview to talk about it. And he'll be a few weeks into his time with this doll and, his investigation of this doll as well. So I'm really looking forward to that one. That's going to be a good show, that one.
Fantastic.
So, that's on the 27th of August.
And what have we got coming up for the rest of the week?
Well, tomorrow night we have Penny on her Haunted History show. She's doing Coventry Museum, I think it is. Then on Thursday we've got the KTPF show, which is the mammoth poltergeist experience that somebody had. That's a replay show. No, honestly, it sounds really, really interesting, but I've not had a chance to listen to it yet, so I'm not sure what that's about.
Okay.
On the Paramania Search UK radio show, we are talking UK versus USA investigations.
Now, believe me, that's going to be an amazing show. I'm going to be there.
Oh, my God. Jay has forced me into this one. I'm just saying that. I'm not taking no responsibility for this. And then on Friday, the Dark Mirror show, we are looking at haunted trains, tunnels, stations. We're looking at the railway lines of hauntings on railways. And then on Sunday, I have got the Spirit Dimension show going on. And I've got a lady. She is amazing. She's a New York lady. She is called Alex Matsua, and she works in the theatre, and she has an investigations in some amazing theatres, and she's written books on it and all sorts. She's fascinating. So tune in for that, definitely.
Brilliant. And on next week's Paranormal Concept show, we have Norman Fay joining us, talking about ancient monuments. So that should be quite interesting. I've got to do some research.
Yeah, that would be really good, that one.
Yeah, it will be. And so all that's left is for me to thank everybody that's been in the chat room tonight. It's been an absolutely amazing show, and to look at, to read some of your comments. Fantastic. So, yes, have a safe week, and see you all again next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.